Hi, this is Frank Schaeffer. I'm a writer and painter and commentator, and I've written books like Why I Am an Atheist Who Believes in God. And I came out of an evangelical right-wing background about 35 years ago, changed my mind, and became a progressive activist. But I want to share something with you today. I have 5 grandchildren, and I've taught them all to ski, and my youngest, Nora, right now, who's 4, and I were out on the slopes the other day, and I got all tangled up with her, and we fell down, and she got up, and she was fine, and everything was good. And I turned to her and I said, "Hey, Nora, I don't know how that happened. I'm so sorry. It was my fault. I just don't know how that happened." And she looked at me and smiled, and she wasn't being a smartass. She was trying to comfort me, and she says, "Well, I think it happened because you're not as good at this as you think you are." And I've been thinking about that since, thinking that explains everything. You know, Einstein tried to come up with a unified field of knowledge theory. I think Nora just did. Think about every mistake you've made in your whole life. Think about every mistake our country has made. It's wars, everything else. Think about the way we've wrecked our environment. Think about why we elected Donald Trump, and some people have even stuck with him. You know, if I had a universal bumper sticker, it would say, "We are not as good at this as we think we are. We're not as good at this as we think we are." That covers everything. Wow, if Donald Trump only had that on his desk and believed it, he'd be a good president. I'm not as good at this as I think I am. We're not as good at this as we think we are. Doesn't that cover everything? Doesn't that explain why it's a bad idea to worship billionaires because they have money? Doesn't that explain why it's so horrible that in Washington we have 10 times more lobbyists than we have legislators? We're not as good at this as we think we are. When we pursue our self-interest, thinking that we have the answers, we are screwed. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Nora nailed it. We're not as good at this as we think we are. Think about that. Thanks. My name is Frank Schaeffer.